You know that feeling when you're lying there, staring at the ceiling, your mind racing with thoughts from the day? Or maybe you're the type who reaches for the phone just for a minute, and suddenly it's past midnight. You've gone down a rabbit hole of videos you don't even remember clicking on, articles you're not really reading, and posts from people you barely know. Sound familiar? For the longest time, my evenings felt completely out of control. I'd finish the day exhausted, but somehow couldn't bring myself to actually rest. Instead, I'd fill the hours with mindless activities that left me feeling even more drained. Every single morning, I'd wake up groggy, already behind, promising myself that tonight would be different. But it never was, until I realized something important. The way you end your day shapes the way you begin the next one. Why most evening routines fail. Here's what I learned the hard way. Most of us don't actually have evening routines. We have evening reactions. We react to whatever's in front of us. Another episode, another notification, another task we suddenly remember. We're not intentional about how we close out our day, and that lack of intention follows us straight into tomorrow. I used to think I was unwinding when I'd spend hours on my devices after work, but really, I was just numbing myself, avoiding the discomfort of slowing down, avoiding silence, avoiding the reality that I felt overwhelmed and didn't know how to process it. The turning point came when I understood that rest isn't the same as distraction. Rest requires intention. It requires creating space, and that's exactly what a real evening routine does. Building an evening that actually works. Let me walk you through what transformed my nights from chaotic to calm. These aren't complicated steps, and you don't need any special equipment or apps. You just need consistency. Create a clear ending point. Most of us blur the line between work time and personal time. We check one more email at 9 p.m. We think about tomorrow's tasks while eating dinner. Our brains never get the signal that work is done. So here's what I started doing. I created a closing ritual. At a specific time each evening, I sit down for 5 minutes and write out anything lingering in my mind. Unfinished tasks go on tomorrow's list. Then, I physically step away from my workspace. This simple act tells my brain, we're transitioning now. Clean your environment. Clear your mind. There's something powerful about waking up to order instead of chaos. I'm not talking about deep cleaning every night. Just a quick 10-minute reset makes a massive difference. I clear surfaces, put things back where they belong, prepare what I'll need for tomorrow. It might sound small, but this habit removes decision fatigue from your morning. You're not starting the day already dealing with yesterday's mess. The screen-free hour. This is the hardest one, but also the most transformative. 1 hour before bed, all screens go away. Not reduced, gone. Why? Because every time you pick up your phone or laptop, you're activating your brain. You're consuming information, processing notifications, making decisions. Your mind thinks it's time to be alert, not time to wind down. What do you do instead? Read something on paper, have an actual conversation, sit with your thoughts, journal. The first few nights feel uncomfortable because we're so used to constant stimulation, but push through that discomfort. What's waiting on the other side is a mind that can actually settle. The brain dump practice. Ever lie in bed remembering everything you need to do tomorrow? Your brain does this because it's trying to hold on to information. It doesn't trust that you'll remember. So give your brain permission to let go. Keep a notebook by your bed and spend 5 minutes downloading everything swirling in your head. Tasks, worries, ideas, random thoughts. Get it all out. Then write down 3 specific things that went well today, no matter how small. This practice does 2 things. It stops your mind from spinning in circles, and it trains your brain to notice what's working instead of only seeing what's wrong. Create a transition zone. Between your active day and sleep, you need a buffer zone, a time when you're intentionally slowing down. This is different for everyone, but the key is consistency. Maybe it's sitting with a warm drink in low lighting. Maybe it's gentle stretching or breathing exercises. Maybe it's sitting outside for a few minutes. The activity matters less than the intention behind it. You're creating a bridge between doing and resting. Prepare your sleep space. Your bedroom should signal one thing: rest. Keep it cool, dark, and as quiet as possible. Commit to a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. I know this sounds basic, but most people treat sleep like an afterthought. They sacrifice it when things get busy, then wonder why everything feels harder. Quality sleep isn't a luxury. It's the foundation that everything else is built on. The compound effect. Here's what happened after I stuck with this routine for a few weeks. Mornings became easier. Not because I suddenly loved waking up early, but because I was actually rested. My mind felt clearer during the day. I had more patience, more focus, more energy for the things that mattered. And the evenings themselves, they went from being the most stressful part of my day to the most peaceful. I started looking forward to that wind down time instead of dreading it. The secret isn't perfection. Some nights, you'll skip steps. Some nights won't go as planned. That's completely normal. What matters is having a framework to return to, a structure that supports you instead of adding more pressure. Start small, build gradually. If you're feeling overwhelmed looking at all these steps, just pick one. Maybe tonight, you simply write down 3 things before bed. Tomorrow, you add the digital cutoff. The next day, you try the closing ritual. Small changes create momentum. One good decision makes the next one easier. And before you know it, you've completely transformed how you end and begin each day. Your evenings aren't just empty hours between work and sleep. They're the reset button for your entire life. When you take control of your nights, you take control of your mornings. And when you take control of your mornings, everything else starts to shift. So tonight, what's one small thing you'll do differently? Not someday, not when things calm down, tonight, because the version of yourself you want to become is waiting for you to start.